everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are having a great day today. If you're new here, I want to welcome you to School of Scarlet, the School of Unconditional Love. And if you're a returning subscriber, returning viewer, or new subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so happy to have you all here today. So, today we're going to be talking about your own direct experience. So, to me, this is something really big. I feel that with spirituality or anything like this in life where basically everything, it has to be a direct experience. We are so often taught by others about things. And this is great. Of course, it's good to learn. It's good to learn from others, and it's very necessary. And so there's nothing wrong with that, but we can learn from them, and we can learn only so much, really, because if they've had a certain direct experience and we haven't had that, well, we can learn a lot about them, about what led to that direct experience, um, how that direct experience went for them. Maybe there's ways to evoke that experience, whatever it happens to be. I'm really talking in a general sense right now, just anything in general. But I'm going to be moving more into the spiritual side of things, but this really applies to anything in life that we're taught. We can be taught these things, but at some point we actually have to go out there and experience them. We actually have to go out there and do them. So while we can go to school and college and learn a certain trade or a certain vocation or whatever it happens to be, eventually school will be done and you will have to go out there and actually work in that or actually experience that. Some professions and jobs have internships and stuff where they have you actually have that direct experience before even graduating. So, this is a very necessary part of life. Um, in Christianity, one of the things that I remember them talking about the church that I attended was a warning against the milk of the word, which the milk of the word was basically there's nothing wrong with it. It's basically when we are listening to, let's say in that case, it would be the preacher, the pastor, speaking his spiritual knowledge to us. Let's say it's us at the church, right? So if we're just listening to the pastor and just taking that home, but not, really having our own direct experiences and our own discernment and our own interior experience of these things, then we will never experience what that actually feels like. We will just hear it from others and their experiences. And so basically, we're getting a diluted version of what happened. Of course, it's very necessary to have teachers, to have people out there that can kind of share their experiences. And although they're not completely needed because everything is within you, this is definitely something that, is part of life. We have teachers, we have speakers, we have people that love to share and help others and things like that. So that will always be part of it. What we have to realize is that we cannot depend completely on just listening to their direct experiences or experiencing it through their descriptions of it. We have to experience it from ourselves, for ourselves, within ourselves. And so, while it's nice to listen to spiritual teachings on YouTube, online, maybe you have movies or videos along those lines. Maybe you do go to some sort of church or, synagogue or temple, whatever it happens to be that you go to. You can go to these places and you will get some spiritual knowledge and things like that. You'll get some teachings. But until you experience it yourself, you're only experiencing basically the milk of the word, which is literally what is milk. Milk is literally something that has already been digested through someone else's system. So, milk is what babies drink. And that's what the verse in the Bible alludes to, that it's something that babies do. And it's okay. Babies need to drink milk, it's completely normal. So, there's nothing wrong about that. But at some point, it has to be realized that it's time to go out there and experience this for oneself. So, what do we do when we have this insight that, okay, we are no longer going to drink the milk of others. We're now going to create our own milk. We're going to be our own creator. We're not going to depend on drinking something that has already been processed and used and come through someone else. We are now going to use our own. We're going to go through that direct experience and create our own milk. We are now our own creator in this universe. So it kind of flips. And so one of the reasons that they warn so much against this is because people get very complacent in just coming to, let's say that was a church, coming to church and just sitting there and listening to the sermons and going home, and yet they don't really apply it or experience it through their own vessel. So they don't have that direct experience. So we really have to, at some point, kind of listen to or learn those teachings or whatever, if that's a desire of yours. And then at some point, just put it down and go play. Once you feel like you've realized or understand it intellectually enough that you can just leave it alone, that'll naturally happen. At some point, you'll feel like, okay, it's time to do something else. I don't want to watch these videos anymore. I'm tired of this, or it's time to do something different. And at that point, what I would suggest is just go out and play. Go out and do things that are fun for you. And in doing that, that's how you will experience that direct experience. And you will be met by that divine energy as you're in joy, as you're in life, because what you're going to come across is life. And that's what I'm talking about here. The direct experience is the magic of life. And only life can show you that. You can sit there and learn from books and teachers and courses, and that's all great. That's all great. I'm not saying that that's not something that we can do. We can certainly do that, but we have to realize that everything is actually within us, and no one can actually give us anything. We have to allow it for ourselves. Anything that happens, we really allow it for ourselves, whether we're realizing this or not. This is the difference between being conscious of things or unconscious of things, living in the consciousness of everything, or being subconscious, living through that. And so once we become conscious of what's happening, we meet life, magic begins to happen. Everything begins to make sense, open up. The connectedness of everything begins to show itself to you. And all of those teachings that, your spiritual teacher, your whoever it was, maybe just a friend, or maybe it was a pastor or something, all of those informations that those people had shared with you are now going to make a lot of sense, because in the actual world, all of a sudden you're seeing it come alive. And so it's very important to sometimes put that down, put those videos down, put those teachings down, and go out there and actually play in life. And in life, you will see everything that's been spoken of, that's been taught, and you will see and experience it a little differently, with your own flavors, with your own preferences, with your own ways. That's why when you listen to speakers talk about any topic, they're so different. And even then, you can think, oh, maybe that one's wrong, or that one's saying something different. Well, why? Because they've experienced it so differently within. And it's still the same thing that's happening, but they've experienced it differently within their lives, or they've had different upbringings, different programmings, different things happening within them, that they share it or speak it differently than maybe another person would. And so while I came to this realization through a twin flame journey, some people have no clue what that is, or, I had no clue what that is. So, all of these things are going to happen for each person in a different way. And so they're going to be spoken of differently. The experiences are going to be different. And so, what is your experience going to look like? What's happening for you? And maybe you've already experienced these direct experiences. And if you have, then you're probably just watching this because it's very beautiful to kind of connect and hear others that have that same perspective of life now. So, for me, when I watch videos around spirituality or heart centeredness or any of these things, is because it's just beauty to my ear at this point. I love to hear the different perspectives of the same experience that I've experienced, but in different ways. And I find it very beautiful. So for me, that's what it is. But, and so if you haven't had a direct experience though, this is just kind of like what is it? It's almost like a mysterious thing, probably, if you're listening to something or someone speaking about something that they've been through. And the thing is, it is mysterious. But until you experience it for yourself, it's going to be a very direct and personal experience. And once you experience it, you're going to know that that experience was totally meant for you and is very special in that way. And you'll probably talk about it differently. It'll probably happen differently and you'll feel it in different ways and whatever. But then we can still come together and share those experiences, and they're very beautiful. So I really encourage you to get out there in the world. And if you are ready and you feel like, okay, I'm tired, I'm actually getting kind of tired of reading these books, I'm getting kind of tired of listening to these videos, what can I do? Just turn it off. And as much as I want you watching my videos and all of these things, I would want you to turn this off and go out there and play. Go out there and play and do those things that you really enjoy. And if you don't know what to do, just go out for a walk. That's what I do. I just go out walking, and in walking, so many things arise and so many downloads and insights come through. So, but if you actually have something that you really enjoy doing, you like playing basketball, go out there and play basketball on the court with your friends. If you enjoy, doing things like reading, writing, painting, maybe you want to go out there and I don't know, maybe you want to go to a casino. It doesn't matter. There's no judgment here. Everything is on the table. Whatever it is that brings you joy, go out there and do that. And in doing so, those direct experiences of life will come and meet you. And the more that you dabble in those things that are joyous to you, that are loving to you, that lift your spirits, the more that you are ready and open for these direct experiences that really shift and move you happen. And so that's really all I have to share today, is just to remember that um, we need to be careful with the milk of the word. If we are too stuck on that, the early stages, we could even call them the baby stages. Not that they're wrong. There's nothing wrong with a baby. They're a baby because that's where we start, or where everything seems to start, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. Babies have to be nourished, babies have to grow, babies have to learn, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we can all go through that. And at some point, it gets boring. It gets like, oh, now we actually want to play for ourselves. And that's usually, if we think about children, when they get into those ages, maybe 2 or 3 years old, when they start to go into imagination, and now they're ready. They leave the milk. Now they're ready to play and do other things. And they're not so attached to the milk or the mother. They're not so attached actually physically to the mother, because even the milk, if we think of a baby, it's not just the milk, that the milk has already been digested. Everything's already been digested through the mother and now coming out to the baby. So that's why it's kind of like information that's already gone through someone and now they're just giving it to you. Not only that, the baby is also attached physically to the breast of the mother. So also there becomes a time, 2 years old usually, that the baby will naturally stop breastfeeding, and that's just natural. Of course, most people usually stop or wean them on their own before that, but usually it's 2 or 3 years old, and so whenever they naturally wean themselves, now they're ready to play, and that's when you'll see that they begin to form more of a personality, more of a will. They'll say no, or it's mine, and they form more of that will. And now they're creators. Now all of a sudden they walk in and I'm a firefighter, and I'm going to go get my fire truck and all of these things, and I'm Superman. And so all of these things will begin to happen around 2 or 3. So the baby detaches physically and is now out there creating through imagination. And the parents are now just playing along in this game. Of course, parents continue to parent, but we're just using this kind of as an example, a visual of the changes that happen even within a person. So At some point, like I say, you'll just feel like, I don't want to watch these videos anymore. I don't feel like reading these books anymore. It's becoming boring, or I'm wanting to do something else. My body wants to move. So you put that stuff down, and what happens? You physically detach from the book, from, sitting there in one spot watching the video, and now you're out there playing. And what happens next is you'll see that you'll begin to experience life and imagine. And so more things will develop, and it's almost like returning to childhood. And all of a sudden, I remember as a child, weird things would happen. All of a sudden, I'd see a fairy, or I'd see, an angel or something. Those sorts of things will begin to happen as well, even in adulthood. As you begin to play, as you begin to open and allow life, kind of like a child, then these things are more likely to enter your existence, basically. And in that, they begin to shift and change you and do things. And so also this can be kind of uncomfortable. This can be kind of different. And so there could be a lot of ups and downs. Toddlers and 3-year-olds and stuff like that, they have a lot of mood swings. They have tantrums. Things happen. The emotions are up and down because so much is happening now that they are all open this way and now playing. And as you play more in life, you begin to understand the game more. And as you understand the game more, all of these things that were shaking up your emotions no longer can sway you because you understand how the game works. So it's very easy now. So this is how it works. It's just how things develop. It seems very linear, but of course, everything is here and now. And you have all this knowledge within you already. But the way that things develop is this way. It seems to go in stages, it seems to go slowly, and it doesn't have to be. It's very clear to me that you can believe it to be easy and you can believe it to be one way, and it'll be that way. But the normal course and what seems to develop for most people, and even myself, is a slower pace of one thing unfolding, and then the next thing unfolding, and the next thing unfolding. So that may be just how it is. And so only you can really decide. You decide it's easy, you decide it's quick, and you decide that it's fast. And generally, things will move that way. But remember that things will move and shift a lot within a lot of different areas. If you haven't been very conscious in your life, then things will really get shaken up. I told you that I've gone through a move, I've gone through divorce, I've gone through many things that have job changes, many things that have shifted and changed, even within the time of my awakening and prior, but it's always happening. So we just have to realize it's always happening. But these things can progress very rapidly if we want them to, and if you're ready for that. Or the natural progression of things is just one thing unfolds, and as we integrate and learn that, then the next thing unfolds, then the next thing unfolds. It's just how it seems to appear. So I just wanted to share with you the insight of having a direct experience and how really we can be taught many things in life. We can join and be part of many groups and learn their ways and do their things. But really, essentially, what we're looking for is that direct experience. And what that direct experience is really all about is finding yourself, is finding you, is getting back to who you are. And anything in life you see is going to be pointing you back to that. You can seek and strive as long as you want and go down this road or that road. And as you get to the end of that road, you're going to find there's no one there but you. And so all you can depend on, all that is there, all that remains is you. But the surprising factor of it is it's just you, but you are everything, and everything is you. And the game is played very differently from this one lonely person, this one lonely human that seems powerless and limited. You are not that. You are greatness. You're infinity. And so, with that, you are everything and you are love. And so, when you realize this, everything changes and it doesn't seem so bad to be all alone because you see how being just you is actually being everything, and how everything is in relationship to you, and how everything is speaking to you, you're speaking to it. And through all of that connection, it's really just you. So, as all of these things unfold and unravel, fall away, however you want to see them, what you're seeking is yourself. So, I offer a course called the Unconditional Course. The Unconditional Course is a course that reorients you to your own sacred heart. Your own sacred heart is where everything is stored. It is, if you want to call it, your inner child. It is your twin flame. It is your angels. It is your teachers. It is all of whatever religion you are or have been. It's everything. It's in your heart. And everything is encompassed there. It's infinity. And within there are all the answers as well. Because it is you. You are the answer. And whatever you decide is what can be. Anything you decide can be. And so I'll be making a video about that here soon. But if you want to reorient to the heart, if you want to connect with that divine essence that you have stored right there within you, you can do that here now. You can just decide, I am now living through my heart. And you have to live through your heart in a way that you trust it, that you have faith that it is everything. And as it begins to speak to you, which is just you speaking to yourself, as it begins to tell you the things it wants to do, the things that it desires to do, the gifts it has to share, listen and just follow those. That's as simple as it really is. But if you need to come along with us in this course, I have the Unconditional course, which is starting October 10th. We have a great group of students already in this course. The participants in this course are amazing, and I know it's going to be another great group coming through. So if you want to join us, the invitation is still open until October 10th, which is a great portal for new beginnings. And so if you are ready, just email me at schoolofscarlet@gmail.com. And in the subject line, just write, I am ready. And I will get you all the information you need. And we will do this together. We will walk alongside, and there's no shame in that. You are me, I am you, and we are just in this together. So in doing so, we can reorient to the heart and then set you free to have your own direct experiences from the heart. So if that's calling to you now, don't hesitate, don't doubt. There is no such thing as doubt. That's an illusion, that's fear. Drop that now and let's move forward from the heart. So I hope you like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, share it, get this content out there. If you're new, subscribe to my channel if you like this sort of content. Turn the notification bell on and tune in. I would really love to have y'all to be part of this community, be part of the school. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope y'all have a great, wonderful rest of y'all's day.